faithfully delivering value, interpreting the world's best books. Hello, this is Sally speaking books. Today we're exploring the book called Finnish Lessons. The secret to being number one globally, Finnish education ranks first worldwide. Doesn't that sound a bit exaggerated? Shouldn't the US be number one in global education? And isn't China's basic education the most solid? I bet as soon as you hear the title, you'll have objections. By international standards, Finnish teens are indeed the world's smartest students, with the top-ranked basic education. Since 2000, the OECD has conducted the PISA assessment every 3 years for 15-year-olds globally. We'll refer to it as the PISA test from now on. This test is the globally recognized benchmark for basic education quality, assessing reading, science, and math skills. The latest PISA test in 2015 involved over 530,000 students from 72 countries and regions. Finland is the only country consistently in the top 5 over 15 years, ranking first for 3 consecutive terms. Finnish students excel not just in reading and problem-solving assessments, they also match Asian students in subjects like math and natural sciences. More remarkably, the average failure rate exceeded 20% across all 72 participating regions. Yet, Finnish students had under a 5% failure rate. And remember, this small Nordic nation of just 5.5 million people has birthed world-famous brands. Nokia and Angry Birds, both ranking among the world's most innovative, all closely tied to Finland's basic education system. That's why The Economist urged European and American leaders to pause their schedules and attend Finnish schools. So why is Finland's basic education so exceptional? Finland's approach boils down to 3 lesses. First, less instructional time. For example, Finnish primary schools average just 651 required hours yearly, 83 less than Europe's average, and barely half of China's. The second less is less testing. Finnish kids have almost no exams in primary and middle school, just minor quizzes at most. They only take one high school graduation exam in 12th grade. Finnish high school courses don't assess students with exam scores. Instead, they use a credit system. Typically, high school students must complete 75 credits over 2 to 4 years, with 20% being flexible elective courses. The third less homework. For example, only 2% of Finnish middle schoolers spend 4 hours a week on math after school. In the US, that number is 7 times higher than Finland's. And think about how much time Chinese kids spend on after-school tutoring each week. You might be wondering, how come less class time, less testing, and less homework create the world's smartest kids and top innovation industries? The author Chen Zhihua explored Finnish schools with this question. Chen Zhihua, from Taiwan, China, is a mom of 2 girls with a master's in visual communication from Manchester Metropolitan University. She lived in Finland for 6 years and in the UK, US, and elsewhere. From a parent's view, she sought Finland's education secret through her kids' experiences. So, how did Finnish education capture the world's admiration? Why does a non-competitive education system have global competitiveness? And can we learn from this? All right, let's dive into the secrets of Finnish education together. The first secret of Finnish education: teachers are like pioneering entrepreneurs. An OECD official said, education in most countries is like a car factory, but in Finland, teachers are like true pioneering entrepreneurs. Why are Finnish teachers more like entrepreneurs than assembly line workers? Because Finnish teachers are more creative. First, Finnish teachers have full teaching freedom and curriculum autonomy. They can choose textbooks, content, and even set the teaching pace. Daily, Finnish teachers typically spend only 4 hours teaching, with the rest for lesson planning and student assessment. Additionally, they spend 2 hours weekly on professional development. For example, sharing exchanges, educational insights, learning new teaching methods. So, Finnish teachers often understand their students deeply and have both the capability and time. They develop curricula tailored to student growth and often offer professional advice on future career paths. So, how do Finnish teachers actually conduct their classes? In a Finnish elementary school, fifth grade geography and biology teachers are experimenting with a co taught lesson. They designed a course centered on European geography. The teacher divides students into groups, assigns each virtual funds, and has each design a European travel itinerary covering transportation, accommodation, and exploration of geographical features and cultural sites. Designing the plan requires group collaboration. Students use computers to research transportation, lodging, costs, natural scenery, cultural attractions, and more. The final plan must stay within the virtual budget and feature a reasonable, engaging schedule. Throughout, the teacher only provides guidance and resources, offering feedback on each student's work. Grading is peer-based, with the teacher as referee, 20% self-assessment, 80% peer review. This differs from traditional whole class teaching and demands deep teacher-student understanding. In scenario-based learning, students enter a role-playing mode to unlock their potential. This requires teachers to quickly find each student's user manual to keep them motivated. Innovative, dynamic, constantly observing, refining methods, and injecting innovation. Through continuous observation, synthesis, and improvement, they seize every chance to ignite potential. Now, let's reflect what's missing in our own classrooms. Second, Finland minimizes teacher evaluations. No rankings or strict assessments in schools. Finns say all our teachers are equally good. Schools don't conduct pointless evaluations or assessments, no inspections, no appraisal reports. Parents trust the school's decisions. They believe schools deliver effective teaching during students' time there. Schools trust teachers' classroom quality without evaluations, offering immense trust. For us, raised under constant assessment, this is almost unimaginable. Dr. Valanen, principal of a renowned secondary school, told the author, "I don't micromanage teaching. If issues arise, they'll reach me eventually. If we manage teachers who wouldn't just put on a show, you want data, they'll provide it. Visit, they'll perform perfectly for you." But does that mean anything? Does it benefit students? Does it help overall teaching progress? Dr. Valinen's critique seems to hit a sore spot in China's education system. In the 2015 PISA test, students from Beijing, Shanghai, Jiangsu, and Guangdong ranked 10th. Not bad at all. But the report also noted challenges in China's education, including teacher development. China's teacher evaluation contrasts sharply with Finland's, filled with rankings, assessments, and inspections. Teachers spend excessive time preparing evaluations, especially demo lessons, turning classrooms into 40-minute performances. But wait, aren't Finnish teachers' results evaluated at all? Yes, of course, through self-assessment. Teachers discuss with principals multiple times yearly. They set annual teaching goals and methods, plus plan how to achieve future objectives. They reflect what teaching achievement satisfied them most last year. Why did it satisfy or dissatisfy them? Periodically, teachers receive feedback and satisfaction data. This helps them holistically understand reactions from schools, parents, and students, reflecting on their method's impact. Building on this, they refine teaching goals and methods, avoiding simplistic performance evaluations like letter grades or quota-based assessments that distort teachers' passion. The Finnish Education Committee believes teachers should spark motivation for thinking and self-learning, not just provide answers. This philosophy deserves deep reflection by every educator. Furthermore, only master's degree holders can become primary school teachers in Finland. Becoming a primary teacher in Finland isn't easy. Teachers are selected from top students, all holding at least master's degrees. They must also show empathy, collaboration skills, and crisis management abilities. They focus entirely on children, supporting students with diverse learning abilities. Take the University of Jyväskylä, Finland's education cradle. Its education department selects approximately 300 applicants from approximately 500 for interviews and psychological testing. Finally, about 90 are admitted, a mere 6.4% acceptance rate. Because education requires not just skill, but passion and innovative thinking. Finland's largest newspaper, Helsingin Sanomat, conducted a survey. Finnish high schoolers ranked teaching as their top career choice, above president or professor. Compared globally, Finnish teachers enjoy exceptionally high social status and influence. Trusted and respected, they have strong professional autonomy. Continuous learning fuels their innovation and teaching excellence. The head of Finnish Education Research Institute likened teachers to the most learning-hungry animals. Ultimately, Finland's first secret is having exceptional people approach education like lifelong entrepreneurs. The second secret, never abandoning any child. Easier said than done. Finnish education prioritizes equality, from system design to resource allocation, ensuring everyone's right to education. This is constitutionally mandated in Finland. First, flexible teaching accommodates different learning paces. Finnish education especially emphasizes monitoring progress for students with learning difficulties. Students are flexibly grouped into different classes based on their needs. This differs fundamentally from China's fast or slow tracking system focused solely on test scores and admission rates. In Finland, grouping aims to find the most suitable teaching methods for each student. In fact, Finnish education authorities invest more resources in so-called slower groups. When students struggle, teachers develop targeted strategies and provide one-on-one tutoring, all government-funded. In an Eastern Finnish secondary school, the author observed a special support class teacher. During regular class hours, a large classroom stood completely empty. The teacher had arranged internships at local businesses, pizzerias, florists, laundromats, restaurants, all volunteering to support students. After 2 to 3 days interning, students returned to discuss practical experiences and life topics with the teacher. The principal explained, these kids learn differently. They need hands-on approaches since they're restless and progress differently. Teachers co-design practical courses based on their interests. The goal is to make them enjoy school more. Through this approach, these students gain more part-time job opportunities during summer. Far from being abandoned for slower progress, these kids receive more educational resources and social support. Second, all Finnish children, regardless of location, share equal access to quality resources. Whether in Helsinki or above the Arctic Circle, they receive equally hot free lunches and high-quality textbooks. As mentioned, even rural teachers hold master's degrees, ensuring consistent teaching quality nationwide. In remote areas with poor transport, the government provides taxis. School environments often surpass urban ones, resembling idyllic learning havens. That's why Finnish PISA participants from diverse regions show minimal score variations. So the second secret of Finnish education's success is equality. Never abandoning any child, helping each find their best place in life for maximum happiness. Since everyone is part of society, no one should self-abandon, nor does anyone have the right to decide who can be abandoned, especially vulnerable growing children. The third secret of Finnish education, no pushing for excellence or rushing ahead, not hurrying at all. Finnish children start school at age 7, later than most countries. In Finland, some primary schools spread the first 2 years over 3 years in a preparatory class, often called zero grade. Some might ask, what's the point of dragging out grades 1 and 2, even repeating grades? Isn't it better to win at the starting line? But Finns believe ages 7 to 8 are crucial for character development. Don't rush. Before age 10 is foundational for learning attitudes and reading habits. Even if it takes an extra year or two, detecting special needs early allows tailored curricula. This way, future extra tutoring resources for these children actually decrease. Moreover, Finnish schools don't promote excellence or rank students. No such system or advocacy exists. Finnish children have no major exams before age 15. Even small classroom tests are private matters between student and teacher. The book's author once visited a town school and met a math teacher dissatisfied with a unit test result. The teacher told the author, "I can't release these scores to classmates. I've spoken with the principal. We must find a way to understand. Why didn't they perform well? Was the test too hard or did they not grasp it? Let's reteach and test again." He said, "Exams aren't meant to frustrate children. They're for mutual understanding between student and teacher. To gauge where the student stands in the subject, that's Finland's definition of testing." At each semester's start, homeroom teachers invite parents and students to discuss the child's learning goals. At semester's end, teachers assess learning outcomes, not by class rank or comparison, but by whether the initial goals were met. Finnish students don't have report cards, only learning reports. Because Finnish education focuses on learning, not competition, schools don't anxiously evaluate or rank against each other. All assessments exist to show students where to improve, providing growth foundations and space for learning progress. Exams never aim to demoralize students and teachers or mock others' progress. Moreover, the curriculum itself embodies the Finnish no-rush approach. Finnish schooling integrates life education, building lifelong learning foundations. Beyond core subjects like language and math, Finnish primary schools offer unique public welfare classes as regular courses. Finnish boys and girls learn knitting, sewing machine operation, sawing, hammering, sanding, and circuit assembly together from childhood. These skills are practical and cultivate gender equality awareness. In these classes, no gender divisions exist. Boys focus on knitting or sewing machines. Girls use saws and planes for woodworking too. In 2015, Pisa, Finland was the only country where girls outperformed boys in science. Visiting schools, the authors saw seemingly delicate girls operating electric saws as skillfully as boys. With goggles and ear protection, they resemble carpenters, sawing, nailing, before transitioning to home economics. Another uniquely Finnish course focuses on cooking, housekeeping, and household budgeting. The goal is equipping students with daily life skills. In budgeting class, teachers might assign a room for students to furnish, choosing furniture, plate colors, and chairs for comfort and aesthetics. Students learn recipe, reading, and ingredient measurement. They study ingredient seasons, origins, nutrition pairing, and food safety. The course covers household economics, budgeting concepts, planned purchasing, laundry sorting, clothing organization, plus household or room waste classification and disposal, public welfare and knitting, housekeeping and cooking, the most authentic aspects of life. Through years of hands-on learning, these become ingrained in their blood and genes. Crucially, it teaches children independence in life management, connecting learning with family love and life passion to boost motivation. Thus, the third secret of Finnish education: no pushing excellence, no rushing ahead, no hurrying. At life's formative stage, it ignites each child's innate love for learning, benefiting them for life. The fourth secret: making children fall in love with reading. In PISA tests, Finnish teens demonstrate exceptional reading proficiency. Conversely, in China, reading remains a persistent headache for parents. Children don't know how to read, what to read, or simply lack time for extracurricular reading. Here, Finland's approach is exemplary. Reading is as natural to Finns as breathing, valued like we prioritize STEM subjects. Every Finnish child's first book is a poetry picture book gifted by the government. The government aims for infants to absorb language rhythms through parental recitations. Sing's reading habit essentially begins at birth. After starting school, daily homework includes at least 30 minutes of independent reading. This isn't about logging titles in notebooks. It's encouraging kids to read what they love, prioritizing pure enjoyment. Teachers foster group reading cultures, tailoring books to individual interests and levels to guide joyful immersion. Schools use interactive teaching. Students and teachers jointly select engaging youth literature, newspapers, and magazines. They partner with libraries and reading associations to host diverse activities, integrating reading into daily life. Moreover, Finnish libraries outnumber shopping malls with superior facilities. Finland enacted its library law in 1928, mandating libraries in every town, creating an intensive network. 80% of Finns use public libraries, averaging over 10 visits per person annually. In remote areas, Finland operates mobile library buses with 7.4 million annual checkouts. When kids in isolated areas can't reach libraries, libraries come to them. Every Finnish library, from architecture to furniture, is often designed by masters. Music and art zones and children's sections outshine entertainment plazas, making libraries Finland's most luxurious spiritual retreats. Thus, the fourth secret: prioritizing reading as a lifelong asset, not a privilege for the elite, but a universal skill benefiting all. We've now broadly uncovered Finland's education secrets. But where did these secrets originate? They're not overnight miracles, but products of Finland's 30-plus years of education reform. This reform transformed Finland's system from top-down control to bottom-up trust, building its global reputation. So, does Finnish education have flaws? One Finnish teacher admits, perhaps its greatest weakness is lacking tailored programs for gifted students. Unlike nations investing heavily in higher education, Finland focuses funding on universally accessible K-12. This approach continually strengthens support for lower achieving students. Teaching children is time-intensive work demanding vast resources. Yet the OECD recognizes Finland as among the most efficient in resource utilization. And so, however, in recent PISA tests, Shanghai ranked first in 2012, while Beijing, Shanghai, Jiangsu, Guangdong sampled students ranked 10th in 2015. Finland placed fourth and fifth. Does this mean its secrets failed? Not necessarily. Reading PISA reports carefully shows Finland clearly understands education better than we do, because they've consistently implemented the ideas we proposed early on: respecting teachers, everyone has unique talent, and education without discrimination for decades, with down-to-earth dedication. Outside Finland, Asian countries like Japan and Korea have also shown strong performances in past PISA tests. In the 2015 test, Japan ranked second and Korea 12th. These two countries are close neighbors to China with similar cultures. But compared to that, their educational philosophies are more similar to Finland up in Northern Europe. They equally value educational equality and avoid deliberately ranking who's better or worse. They also focus on survival skills and civic education, promoting good habits and moral character, and requiring each kid to manage themselves, and so on. These ideas and practices echo Finland's approach. Actual investment in basic education largely determines a nation's educational fairness. No matter the education system, parents all want their kids to enjoy top-notch education. When public basic education can't meet this demand, true fairness in education just isn't possible. Even in Japan and Korea, which we said value educational equality, things like school choice and cram schools still exist. In this regard, Finland's worth learning from and focusing on its secret to being number one globally in education. Well, that's all for our interpretation. Study notes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.